Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Emma Goode. I'm the founder of digital marketing agency 24 Fingers. We were 10 this week, so we're celebrating a milestone. It's my absolute pleasure to be here sharing wisdom around digital marketing and how you can get more return on investment for all your efforts as a small business owner. So I'm just going to let somebody else in. And really, this is your chance to ask me genuinely anything about digital marketing. If you've got a question that you're thinking, I really want to ask that, please ask it, because I'm sure somebody else would want to know as well. It's a really safe space, so no questions a silly one. And for the next however long, I'm really here to help and share anything on SEO, social media, digital marketing, getting more leads, whatever it is that's kind of keeping you up at night from a digital marketing point of view. So that is me. I'm a good 24 fingers, 10 years old this month, very proud, and great to see everybody on the call. Like I say, open forum. So if anybody does want to kind of kick off with an immediate question, I am more than happy to just answer it as we go along. Yeah, over to you guys, really. Whoever wants to go first.
Emma, may I shoot off with a question immediately, if that's okay?
Yeah, of course. Of course.
Well, hi everybody. So the question I had was, you were kind enough to set up a course some time back, which I attended and was very impressed with, and
Thank you.
and there you talked about automation and automation tools. In practice, just a general question. As you automated over time, I mean, as I said, I'm at the start of the journey. As you automate over time, did it free up a lot of your time that such that you were only having to work 2 hours a day rather than 5, or whatever it was? And what did you do with that free time? Did you use it to market more, or did you go, right, I want a break? I don't want to work all day, so automation is there to make my life easier, so I'm going to take it a bit more easier, if that makes sense. So how did your life change through that?
Makes complete sense. I'm going to answer it. I just want to say hello to Desi and Mark. Hi, Desi. Hi, Mark. Nice to see you both. Really, really lovely to have you on the call. Thank you very much for taking the time out of what is a lovely sunny afternoon. I really appreciate you getting away from the garden and the ice creams and the fun to be with me. Tesh, I think double question there. One was around kind of how much did automation save you, and what did you do with that free time? So we don't know each other that well right now, but anybody that knows me knows that I don't have any free time, because whatever free time I get, I do more of the same. So the way that I looked at it was quite strategically. What task am I doing right now that doesn't need my brain, right? Because my brain's like really full up with lots of ideas and plans and everything. So I was thinking, well, how can I use my brain effectively, creatively, that only Emma Goode can do, and the robots can do everything else? So I literally started with one task at a time. And a point of caution: if you try and automate everything in your business on day one, you will go mad. You will go absolutely mad. So don't do that. But just work normally. And the minute you think, actually, that didn't require my brain and a robot could have done that job, I didn't add any Hitesh flair to that task, that's the task to automate. Once you've worked out what the task is, reverse engineer it. So think about the endpoint, think about the starting point, and think about all the micro steps. I use a really cool bit of software that actually records my screen and my keyboard touches, so it will capture every single button that I press and every single point of the task. So some tasks might take 50 micro points, but the software is capturing it. Once I've done that, I use integrators to kind of connect two programs together. So it might be, for example, if you had a Facebook page, you could get it to automatically post onto your Google My Business profile. That could be done automatically. So big tip, look at what the endpoint is, i.e. I haven't got enough time to post on my Google My Business profile. Then look at the steps in between, and then look at the input, and gradually you'll work out all the steps in between. And then in terms of how much time it saves me, I look at it completely different the other way. I look at it, how much more output can I create using automation. So I forget about time. I just think about volume of output. So let's say, for example, I wrote a blog. I would use automation and I would use my tools, think how many assets can I get out of that one blog? Should be able to get about 9 different things out of one blog. That might be a social media post, that might be a podcast, that might be a lead magnet, that might be an email newsletter, all these different things. So I'm not thinking about it as time saved. I'm thinking about it as output increased. Because we're small, even though I've got 6 people that I work with, we're a fairly small company. So I'm always thinking about how best to optimize the hour. So actually, the output of that hour is 10x. If that answers your question.
Yes, it does. Yeah, that's very
Because
good. Thank you.
I could never have free time just to sit and do nothing because my brain would be like, what can I do? I want to create, I want to build another automation.
But,
Yeah,
but, but, but you need time to relax, don't you, to some extent? Uh,
yeah.
do you try and build that in? Sorry, just jumping in with another question. I do apologize.
No, so no, I feel like I was 50 the other day. I've got a decade to just really maximize this next decade. And I know myself quite well. And if I have too much time to just relax, I go renegade. So it's better for me just to keep on the straight and narrow of work. And then I can relax later.
That's really helpful. Thank you.
But also for me, work doesn't feel like work. Like I would do this even if I wasn't paid.
Yeah.
So it's a joy and it's a privilege to work. Not a, but like, yeah, I just love it.
Excellent.
Okay. Right, who's next? Open floor. Grab me.
I have a question.
Hi, lovely.
Hi. So basically my website is done, but I'm working on my so
Yay.
yeah, it took me some time to be honest, but I had to deal with some stuff around life because life likes to happen in the most I don't know, unexpected times. And yeah, so it took me some time. The website is done. I'm working on my other social medias. So I've done my logo. I'm working on a strategy how to how should I say, decorate them, like what type of content, I want them to look like with products, what kind of photos do I put, quotes, no quotes, how to link them to my website and all that stuff.
Desi, before I answer your question, do you want to tell everyone what your business is?
Sorry. So yeah, hi everyone. My name is Desislava, and basically I started the company in November. So my main idea at the moment is eco-friendly design for furniture, home decor, and any kind of art. Using scraps and literally repurpose materials and create furnitures and home decor, or get old furnitures and just upcycle them and bring them back to the market. Yeah, pretty much that's so far the moment. Down the road, I'm planning to continue and start teaching kids and later on teenagers and in future adults as well, all the crafts that are practiced in the workshop and much more, to be honest. So I can give them a better chance for future and eventually start their own businesses or just focus on their craft and how to make money out of it. So yeah, pretty much that's it.
Thank you. Desi and I had the pleasure of meeting on a kind of accelerated program, and I was really inspired by Desi's commitment to not just sustainability but giving back. And I think that ethos in any business is super important. And yeah, I really love that. So yeah, sorry, I um I um I interrupted you. Carry on, Desi.
That's fine. So basically, along the way, I came up with the conclusion that I want to split a little bit what I do in two different categories. Because on one side, basically how I divided it, I want on my Instagram and my Facebook page to have only the final products and really short videos of how things are done or the upcycling process. And then on the other hand, I would have the TikTok, Twitch, and YouTube channel where I have live stream of meanwhile I'm working, how do I do stuff, plus the short videos of the upcycled furnitures or all the projects literally I've worked on. And the second part of it will have a different name from the other name, but I came up with the idea how to combine them so people can recognize one and the other. So, and to realize that they're not apart, but they're the same thing, just different sections of it. But while I was doing my research about all the other people who are daily like upcycling furnitures or having this type of channels or videos or certain type of products, I came to the conclusion that there are only two people who are doing what I actually want to do. And I don't have direct, how you call it? I mean, there's not many people how I can compare to or take as an example of how to progress with my social medias, because when it comes to upcycling, I have so many examples and so many successful profiles and people, and you can see their thumbnails, you can see the titles and all that stuff, because we're talking about social medias and algorithm and thumbnails and all that stuff. But when you come across, like, I'm kind of a niche, like I'm trying to create something which is a real niche, and I'm not sure how exactly to promote myself and how to use all that so it's not absolute failure, if that makes sense. Because people were used to look like to see certain stuff in a certain way. And when they see something different, usually it's either a huge success or a huge failure. There's no middle ground, like it's one or the other. So I'm trying to figure out a way how to avoid that.
I understand. First of all, well done, Taking Action website, brilliant. If I can share, if I may share, I think what's going to set you apart is your heart and your authenticity. And that's what people see. So I wouldn't overthink it. And I certainly wouldn't be comparing yourself to other people because you're Desi and you're completely, you. And I think if you can demonstrate that love and that commitment and that care that you've got in your heart for doing it now and also for the next generation, that will be the commonality. And, forget what platform, forget what thumbnail, forget what title. That is the thread that needs to link all of this. I think when we analyze it too much, we can be paralyzed by what to do next. And I'm kind of picking that up a little bit. So I would say go for it and really show somebody the passion in your heart. And that's what will set you apart. And that can't fail, right? Because that's infectious.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I felt a bit tolerable. My brain got frozen for the last few days because I was like, oh, should I do this? Should I do that? Oh, let me watch another video, or let me get another tutorial, or how should I do my thumbnails? Is my content would be good enough? But this is not the style of video I want to go for. I want to do something different. I don't want to be like everyone else. Should I be? And I was like, I'm losing my mind. Like I'm wasting my time doing all this stuff, and I'm not progressing with my projects because I had to take down my old workshop because I had to move houses. So I had to completely take down everything and I have to rebuild it now again. And instead of working on this, I'm like, what kind of video I should do? And then I got your email and I was like, yep, I need that.
Yeah, honestly, you do you, and I think progress rather than perfection, right? You can always refine, but progress rather than perfection. But be you, and that will come across loud and clear.
Thank you.
Trish, Mark, how can I help?
I'll ask a question then, if it's okay, Emma.
Go for it.
I shared something in chat with for you, Disa, as well. I don't know if that's any interest to you, but well done on that business launch. That sector is a really booming sector at the moment. The kind of recycle and upcycle stuff.
Oh, thank you for sharing, Mark.
Yeah.
If anyone wants to look at that report Mark shared, it's in chat.
And I agree with you, Emma. I think you are the brand, thesis, and I think that's what you need to focus on. Really, just be yourself. I think that's complete sense to me and we can tell by just listening to you that you're passionate about it. So just keep doing that. My question is more about monitoring performance on. There's so many channels, isn't there? And we can jump about on too many of them. And finding the right channel that suits your audience or the personas of people that you're targeting or likely to be using your services.
What's your business, Mark? Can you remind me?
Well, we got two businesses. We got a holiday cottage business in West Wales. We got our own barn conversion, so that's a holiday retreat type of thing. But I also work full time, and my work is helping social enterprises and charities to promote themselves and use more digital tools, sort of thing, really. So yeah, most of my question probably is to do with my day job. The holiday cottage is doing quite well, and we're pretty easy. It's quite an easy kind of target audience to segregate there and kind of, but I'm working with a lot of charities and they're jumping about in all kinds of channels, but they're not measuring the performance of what's happening. It's really kind of ad hoc, it's really random, and I think a lot of it is a waste of time in some areas. But yeah, so explaining to people the length of some of the social media posts and how long they are actually live for, and how likely people are to stumble across them, for example. Those metrics, I suppose. What advice can you give, Emma, on reasonably simple ways to measure metrics, I suppose?
Brilliant point. I think measurement is something that's really easily forgotten, and measurement can tell us to carry on or to pivot, to use a pandemic expression. And actually, something that I was using today was something called a UTM generator. So for anybody that's got a website, this will be a really handy tool for you. So a UTM generator will tell you on your website where somebody's come from, which channel and which post. And I would be highly recommending that people use UTMs in all of their social media and all their marketing, because it will give you with pinpoint accuracy, the stats to say, if I post this thing on LinkedIn or this thing on Twitter or this thing on Facebook, which one drove the action? So let me show you this in real life example. And yeah, okay. So this was one I did earlier, and I promise you I did not prepare this because I had no idea what you was going to say, Mark. But this is a UTM generator, so unique tracking. God, I don't know. UTM, unique tracking measurement. I'll have to work out what the M stands for. I've only ever known it as a UTM, but effectively we can track what the URL is. So this could be your homepage, this could be a blog, this could be a specific service page, this could be a specific landing page. We can track where the post went. So did it go on social media? Did it go on Google? Did it go on your newsletter? We can also track the platform. So in this particular case, I used LinkedIn, and I also then tracked it to my company page as opposed to my personal profile. And what that did is that gave me a really long, horrid URL. So 24fingers.co.uk is our website. 24 Fingers PDF, so that was what I actually shared, and that was the Google Trends for this month. My UTM source was social, it was LinkedIn, it was a company page. And what I can then do is go onto my Google Analytics, do a filter for that particular page on my website, and then filter out which platform the site visitors came from. I can then see how many visits came from which platform, whether there was a difference between people that stayed on LinkedIn for loads of time, people that stayed on Facebook for no time. And then going forward, I could say, right, that type of content really suits LinkedIn because they come to my website, they stay for longer, they visit my pages, or that bit of content in the way that I wrote that in terms of length post or picture or video or whatever it might be, that will give me, with pinpoint accuracy, a success measurement.
Emma, can I ask you a quick question? That you've got the share the generated campaign URL. Is that the URL of the LinkedIn page that you sent the PDF to? Where did you get the URL for?
So the URL is made up out of, actually, sorry, Hitesh, 1 second. Mark, did that help? Did that answer your
Yes, it's that kind of test and
measure 100%. Let me so I'll just break that down. So this bit is the website. So this is where I was sending people, that bit. Then that bit was the medium, so that was social media as opposed to a newsletter. That bit was platform, LinkedIn, and that bit was my company page. So I copied that, and on my LinkedIn company page, I'll show you what that looks like. We've got like lots of different reporting tools, but I really like this one because on your Google Analytics, it's going to show you really quickly and easily what the impact of your posts were. So this is not mine. Give me 1 minute, sorry. So, come on. It's going to take ages now, isn't it? Because I'm doing a live demo. Is it always away? There we go.
So is UTM the name of the product, or is there quite a few UTMs around?
Oh, I'll share it in chat. That was the official Google one. But what I can show you, Hitesh, is this thing here, LinkedIn. LinkedIn will shorten that link, but if I click it, the long link, if I just open it up, the long link will take you directly to my website, but it'll also take you to the particular source. So I'll know whether it came from LinkedIn, I'll know whether it came from Facebook, etc. And it's a great way of working out what channel is best. You could also do it for like long text, as Mark said, image, video, and again, all of that data will show you what type of content your audience are resonating with. Let me just put that in chat for you, Mark.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is like a Google one.
And Emma, how much detail does it give you on the visitors? How much detail does it give you on the visitors that, let's say, visited your blog? How much information can you find out?
So you can find out where they are in the world, how long they stayed, where they came from, what page they visited next. Demographically, you can, if you link it to your Google Ads, you can find out loads of information like gender, age, browsing, what mobile they use, whether they're desktop, mobile. There isn't a lot that we don't know about people nowadays, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on where you sit on the data fence.
Well, obviously, you don't get their name.
You don't get their names, but you can get their IP address, and you can work out what computer they're on, and then you can retarget them. So you can show them ads based on IP address.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's clever stuff. Mark, does that help at all for your charity clients?
Yes, that does help. Yeah, it's the only other thing I'd like is a general summary of how long social media posts are live, because people, if they think, oh, if we post once a week, it's enough. But then on some channels, they post are literally live for seconds, I suppose. Or
Yeah,
even, so
100%.
explaining that to them sometimes is a challenge because they look at you as if, well, I've just posted loads of stuff, and then when they've gone, you got to keep posting if you want
Yeah,
to
got to be
impact.
consistent. And also the algorithm will reward you if you post consistently. It nowadays posts aren't chronological in the algorithm, so they're engagement driven. So I did a post on Monday about our 10th year birthday, and that's still ranked, that's still being served because more and more people are seeing it because it's an engaging post, and the more people that are commenting, the more it gets seen. So that post is going to last until next week if that continues to happen.
And what
Whereas
platform was that on?
that one's on LinkedIn, and that one will last till next week until my next post kind of supersedes it. But if people keep on commenting on that one's going to beat the one that I just did today, purely because of engagement rather than chronological order. So I would say on LinkedIn, you're going to be seeing stuff that's 2, 3 days old. On a Monday, if you look, a good test actually, on a Monday, if you look at your LinkedIn, you'll see that the majority of posts you're seeing are the ones on Thursday.
Okay.
Yeah.
And LinkedIn is probably
Thursday,
the
Friday.
longest lasting post, isn't it?
Yeah.
What other stuff, they don't last as long as LinkedIn, do they?
Yeah, exactly. LinkedIn's our friend algorithmically. But I think the key is if you can get engagement within the first 30 minutes of a post, that will show the platforms that post should be served to more and more people. And the more engagement you get, it will continue to be served.
Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Pleasure. Trish, anything that you want to pick my brains on?
Well, I was just sitting here, and the thing is that I'm in a little bit different situation than most that are on the call here, in the sense of that I did retire, but didn't want to retire for long, so I'm back out in the field. But there's I have a sufficient amount of work to do. But I think it's a matter of wanting to have what I do have running smoothly and getting good enough ranks on it, because the not caliber of people, but the leads that I'm looking for, because I work a lot in projects that are books to film. I need to be able to have a site that is speaks that. And I want to be able to have it easily found, be listed at the top of the ranks of literary agents and things like that. So I'm definitely here today, sitting here as a sponge and getting the information from you. And we'll definitely be sitting in on one of your classes and working with you to get me where I need to get to.
Think, yeah, because like we said, it's all very well like having the website, but now it's like getting you found and come to my calls, Trish. We'll get you sorted out.
Yeah, I didn't think that I was actually thought when I retired that I would be able to, travel and do all this stuff. And it's like, that's really not what I do. I mean, I do, but it's not my thing. I just love producing books, and I enjoy it. I love the different projects that I work on. I mean, I got a political science one right now that I've never done a political science book before, and I'm trying to get it ready for the campaign in November.
Wow.
So it's that's 280 charts and graphs that are dealing with the population and the various political parties and what have
We
you. And
won't get started on politics on this call.
Yeah.
I think we've got our election coming up, Trish, and oh my God, it's a lot, isn't it, Mark?
Bonkers.
You would say bonkers.
Yeah, it's been the craziest election campaign ever. I think it's like a circus.
Well, I think the only people that have won is the betting shops.
Well,
Trish, do you want to tell everyone that series that you're working on? Because they've probably got the book themselves.
The book series I did when I was working, my first job was I had an ad agency when I left. I was in commercial real estate for 20 years. And when I left, I met a client, and his name is Michael Gerber. And if you know Michael Gerber from eMyth, has a business model for entrepreneurs. It's been around since the 70s, and he's world renowned. I used to travel with him for speaking engagements and book signing and mastermind things. I actually was in your neck of the woods in Birmingham. I was in some castle somewhere doing a mastermind 10-day retreat with him. And it's just he's a guy that what I liked about working with him is that he had a system and process that you could do to have your company at some point in time be able to run by itself, almost like a McDonald's for business. That
Yeah.
everything was consistent. It was the same way to do things, the same processes, and all you had to do was document it so that people came in. The bigger you grew, that if people could just walk in and pick up the book and they were ready to go. You didn't have to do a whole lot of training and what have you. So it's definitely training that I got from him that's helped me along the way.
Yeah, I've got the book. It's amazing, and I aspire to that.
Can we have the
I,
link for the book?
yeah,
Pardon me?
yeah, I'll do. I'll do.
I listened to the audiobook version of it, and it was fascinating.
What was
It
that? I'm
is.
sorry.
I had the audiobook version, the CD.
Oh, gotcha. Back in the day when he did seminars and things like that.
So I listening it on my commute in the car to work before COVID and things, and it was that McDonaldification or Disneyfication, whatever he called it. It was amazing.
It's that is the dream, isn't it?
I couldn't walk in a hotel or a restaurant or an airport that people didn't see that white hat, and they would herd over to him, and you saved my company, you saved my marriage, you saved my life, all that stuff. Nowhere did I go with him that people didn't know who the little guy, like he's 5'3", 5'4", little guy. And
That's cool.
they knew him, they loved him, they appreciated him. So it was a good experience.
Is he still alive? Is he still around?
I'm sorry?
Is he still alive, Trish?
No, he is. He's no longer living here in California. He moved to Texas about 6 or 8 months ago. He just had his 87th birthday in June 20th. And I haven't seen him online. I haven't seen any events coming up for him or any Zoom type of projects he's got going on. So I'm going to say that he's probably kind of on the way of stepping down from his work. But I know that eMyth Worldwide, who was his company way back when, is potentially looking at purchasing his company, Michael E. Gerber Corporation, or something like that. I was last I heard, but yeah.
I love your claim to fame, Trish. Or one of your claims to fame. I love it.
I have my moments.
So it doesn't.
No, because I opened the link, but I can't see. I see contacts and I see all the other stuff, but I don't see the book itself.
Do the thing what says receive free book, or if not, I'll just do a search for you.
It's okay. I'll just find it. What's the title of the book?
Get it on Amazon. It's called the eMyth. eMyth. Try eMyth.
I saw it. 1986.
Yeah, but it rings true today that it did like 30 years ago. Honestly, I kid you not.
Okay.
He talks more about automation then than it is now, almost.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, I found the book. Okay. Well, I guess this is my next reading.
I've got another gift for you as well before everyone goes. Give me 1 minute. Give me one moment to caller because I want to give as much value as possible. Is there anyone got any other questions while I do this search?
I got another question. Oh, sorry, was that?
Oh, no, go for it. I can multitask. I'm a woman.
So how do you deal with perfection? And it sort of, I guess, alludes a bit to perhaps what Desi Lava was referring to, but when at one point you go, right, I can't, this website's perfect enough, stop. Now move on to the next task. And obviously, a website's an easy example, but it can be anything. It can be like, negotiating an agreement. When do you go, right, move on now?
There's a logical answer, but there's more of an emotional answer. I think when you know you're putting something off and when you're resisting it, it's time to just JFDI. Because I have a huge challenge with procrastination sometimes. And it's always when I come to a crossroads of either success or failure, I get totally overwhelmed with nerves and anxiety sometimes. And it's only been this year that I've been able to break through that. But at those crossroads moments, I know that I will hold back on posting. I'll know that I'll hold back on doing whatever it is that my life and my business needs because I'm scared. So it's always fear-based. The others, fear of failure, fear of success. So that for me is the time I go, actually it's good enough, just do it. Because the longer I leave it, the less I will be inclined to do it. And then the kind of black hole will get, for me personally, will get a lot worse. And at the end of the day, it's not rocket science, is it? What I do is not rocket science. I'm not saving lives. So it's fine. And interestingly today, I did that Google Trends piece and I'm so proud of it. I've just put it into chat. So proud. And someone wrote back and went, "Oh, Emma, you've made a cock up." And I was really grateful that they told me. And the older me would have sat and beat myself up and gone, "Oh my God, what an idiot." Why, and the new me was like, "Do you know what? I worked my off on that and 10 people might have seen that mistake. It's okay." And I was a bit kinder to myself. And that for me is when I know that I've just got to do it. I don't know whether that answers your question, but that's how.
No, it's really helpful. That's really good. Yeah, no, it's a good way of setting your barrier.
Because it ain't about the logistics of the form or the partnership or the agreement or the discount. It's not that, is it? It's never that stops us. It's always something internally.
Yeah, that's really helpful. Thank you.
I don't know whether anybody else has got any advice on that. Mark, how do you deal with it?
I think it's just something you learn to live with. I suppose it depends on your character. I suppose, isn't it? I don't take myself too seriously, and I'm a bit like you there. I said, I'm only human. We all make mistakes, and sometimes it's good to put a mistake in on purpose to get engagement because people like to look for faults, and you can say, well, you can show you're a little bit vulnerable.
Publicity.
These people like, I'm a long way from being perfect, so I've made mistakes all the way through.
I've made so many mistakes. Honestly, I'm writing a book at the minute, and it will basically be filled with what not to do. And I'm really open about the mistakes that I've made because I want to help other people not make the same mistakes or the volume of mistakes that I've made. But do you know what? I like every minute I did my best. Every single moment I've done the best that I could at that time. And 10 years later, I'm still here. Like, I can't believe it. There's times, I'll be honest, like Desi knows this. There's times in my business where I turn my phone off for 6 months, so I couldn't even answer the phone. And to get beyond that and to be here 10 years later, I'm like, yeah, I'm really proud. Trish, what's it like in America? Because we see you guys as go-getting and like full of energy and zip.
Well, it's definitely a different work environment over here. I mean, I haven't been over in London since I was with Michael back in probably 2016, something like that. But here kids aren't going to college as much as they used to. They're going out on their own right out of high school. I mean, they're not even getting to junior college, and it's all about having that, that one thing that's going to make them buku bucks, and that's all that they're looking for is the buku bucks instantly. And it's like it's not. They don't want to put the effort in it. And it's really kind of sad. I mean, I look at my son, was 14 when he started his company, his first company, and he's now at 4, and he's going to turn 50 this year, and he wants to retire. I couldn't imagine retiring at 50, but he's definitely wants to get out of Dodge. He's looking at moving to Montana or Wyoming.
Right?
Yeah,
Amazing. Does he need an assistant? I'm very happy.
yeah, and Mom, I live in the guest house here, and I'm pretty taken care of. So
Oh, that's very good.
yeah, so if they want to go to Montana, I can work anywhere. I mean, I'm going to be going back home for a couple of funerals in August, and I'm taking a train. I'm taking the train from California to Maine is where I'm originally from.
You're just rubbing it in now, Trish.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 4 days out and 3 days back, and do some writing and editing and all that fun stuff. So
Amazing. That's the dream. Well, can I answer anything else? Any burning questions? Anything else? Or chew the fat on here?
Emma, can I quickly just ask Trish that a question just to follow up on that? Would you mind?
Go for it.
It was really interesting what she just said. So if because obviously it sort of links up with what I'm looking at to some extent, where you mention, school leavers, etc., are heading in a different direction it's not the standard school, college, university model that it used to be. Is it working? I mean, are people able to survive by leaving? By going into business at an early age rather than going through the whole college system? Are you finding there is success?
yeah, I don't think so, because because I live with my son and where he lives, there's a lot of homeowners in this area, this community, and they all have children in their 20s and 30s living at home as entrepreneurs, and they're working from home, but they're not leaving home. For those that can afford to have their kids live with them, they are not there's no motivation. They're sticking at home with their parents. And in Orange County where I live, and even San Diego County, there's a huge number of children who are adults that are living at home because they've got a single parent that needs somebody to take care of them or do this. So they're entrepreneurs. They can work from home and take care of their parents. So it's almost like those baby boomers are now dealing with parents who are in their 80s and 90s that they're having to take care of. So they live at home and they work from home.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a high number of I'll go online and check the percentage of that here in Southern California, but it's definitely it's really flopped. The way that the kids are working today. I mean, I call them kids, but they're not. There's no motivation. Those millennials and younger don't have a lot of motivation at all.
I'm going to counter that argument, Trish. My son's 22 next month, but his year was the year that had COVID, so they couldn't do their exams. So he lost his apprenticeship, and so he started his business rather than just doing nothing. He started his business, but now he's got 2 businesses before he's 22, and he will never work for anybody apart from himself. He's got 5 people working for him.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, my son, he's
Just yeah.
he tried out working 2 different jobs, and he quit within a 2-week period and said he didn't like the way that the owners of the companies treated their employees or treated the customers. And so he said, I'm not working in that world. He said, I'm going to have my own company, and he's done quite well.
Amazing. I love it. Good job, Mum. Good job. Cool. Anyone else for any more? Any more for any more? We're good. I will do these every month. So with your permission, I'll send you the invite. I also run a proper course, a 7-week course, to get all this stuff done. So if you want to know more about that, I know Trish, you're coming on that. Desi knows about it. I'll drop you your line. But genuinely, if I can help, don't suffer in silence. Drop me a note.
Awesome.
Emma would be interested. Thank you for all that. Appreciate it.
Pleasure.
Really, really good session. Thank you.
Oh, no problem. Lovely to
Anytime.
see you. Thank you, Desi. Bye, Trish. Bye, Mark.
Okay. Have a lovely afternoon, everybody. Take care. Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Have a nice night. Bye.